coming to cover this press conference. My name is Chiwenga ED. I am the President and Patriot in Command of Sutisa Ilizwe, Gutsaru Jinji. The empowerment movement that you came here to cover is an announcement. Unfortunately, last week we had some disturbances, but hopefully today our security is enough to deal with any disruptions or disturbances. We are all aware that our great country's economy is not performing very well because of various contributing factors. Chief among them, economic mismanagement, gross corruption, and looting. Most Zimbabweans are scattered all over the world, not because we are good exporters of labor, no, but because the country's economy is underperforming and there are very few decent employment opportunities for our people. We have a lot of educated Zimbabweans who have been turned into vendors. The majority of Zimbabweans have been reduced to beggars. And most people now believe that thieves who steal from them and come back to give them trinkets and breadcrumbs are philanthropists. We have convicted criminals like Chiwenga ED. We have managed to capture the state and can easily choose any government tenders they want to get at any time. We also have thieves and criminals surrounding our president, and they control almost every sector. On the other hand, we have our Liberation War veterans who feel strongly that they are entitled to anything that they want, even if what they want doesn't benefit our economy and the ordinary people. We have individuals who have a serious entitlement mentality and believe that anything that happens in the economy should be about them and their welfare. They don't even think about the ordinary person. Our government doesn't seem to care about the people, but it's only concerned about consolidating power, feeding their families and their close associates, and winning elections. With our Independence Day a few days away, there is nothing much to celebrate for the majority of Zimbabweans, because most of us do not at all enjoy the so-called benefits of liberation. Most of us has lost respect for all veterans because the majority of them feel that they fought for themselves, their families, and their close associates. However, today, it marks the beginning of our non-partisan nationalist liberation movement, which is a product of the aspirations of our well-meaning democratic revolutionary forerunners who shared the foundational values of resistance for universal rights. We strongly believe that a revolution without human, economic, and social and political rights is naked and incomplete. As children and believers of that revolution, we understand that full freedom is when all the privileges as enshrined in the Bill of Rights have been fully delivered to the people of Zimbabwe. With that in mind, anything at all that resembles a colonial era limitation to constitutional and economic rights must be resisted and acted upon. We are totally against anyone or anything that threatens the achievement of human, economic, social, and political rights of Zimbabweans, irrespective of their societal standing, gender, race, or skin color. As a civilian-based movement, we are encouraging a widespread participation in economic activities that create decent employment opportunities and to get against any forms of corruption and bad governance. We are simply an inclusive platform that seeks to address the economic and social issues that are affecting us daily as Zimbabweans. We are all aware that the President of the United States of America, President Trump, is cutting aid to many countries. And it will not be surprising at all if we end up without any NGOs that have been assisting our communities. So we have to be ahead and create our own homegrown support programs before it's too late. We cannot pretend like everything is normal and progressing well while the country is in ruins, when the majority are sleeping on empty stomachs, when vendors are being harassed and treated like wild animals every day, when local authorities are harassing and extorting small-scale businesses that are trying to formalize their operations by opening small stores in our towns. We cannot pretend like everything is normal when our youths are hooked up on drugs, mainly as a result of unemployment, and when our sisters are hooked up in prostitution due to hunger. Yes, development can be witnessed around the country, but it is unfortunate that it's only centralized on a few individuals, mostly politically exposed people and those close to the powers that be. Wealth is unevenly distributed, with those who are benefiting mostly politically exposed, while the poor is wallowing in abject poverty. Just recently, we witnessed some former political leaders trying very hard to provoke ordinary citizens' emotions into violently taking into the streets, supposedly to remove the president. They had their reasons, some of which resonated well with the ordinary people's plight. But from my experience with politicians, they rarely do things for the poor, but they're for their own stomachs. I didn't have a problem with what Comrade Geza was saying, especially in trying to incite the people to get into the streets. He had his reasons, which were valid. But my only problem with him was his agenda was driven by selfishness. He tried to provoke people's emotions into taking into the streets. We must all remember that the people who are leading us, they do not hesitate to kill. And if they kill, they are not ashamed. We are all aware what happened on the 1st of August 2018. A lot of people were killed, and justice has not been served up to this day. We have a lot of people who have disappeared. So we don't want leaders who provoke people in trying to get them into trouble. That's why I was against the Geza revolution or the Geza uprising. It's not like I don't care about the people's plight. I care a lot, but what I hate is people who try to use their selfish agendas to lure people to support them because they have failed individually. You cannot provoke us to get into a fight between President Mnangagwa and his deputy, Constantino Chiwenga. That is not our fight. Comrade Chiwenga has got his soldiers. If he wants to fight his war, he should go and fight it against Mnangagwa. If he loses, then it means Mnangagwa is more clever. If Mnangagwa is removed by Chiwenga, then Chiwenga is more clever. We will work with the president who is there, but you can't try to provoke us into getting in the streets. That is a no for us. I hope I have managed to clear the air on that issue. We also have former leaders and some misinformed G40 remnants on social media who day in, day out complain about the ongoing corruption and human rights abuses. My take in this is these guys, they were once in power and they abused it, left, right, and center, at every opportunity that they got. They harassed and killed people when they had the power. They were also chief human rights abusers in their own wicked ways. Now they are away from the feeding trough. They have graduated and awarded themselves the moral compass to say this government is corrupt. We know it's corrupt, but the people who are saying it, they don't have the moral compass to say that. My thinking is these people, they are not at all concerned about the ongoing corruption or human rights abuses, but their minds tell them that the people who are doing it are not the ones who are supposed to be doing it. Even though I found because they used to do it and they didn't see anything wrong. Now Mnangagwa's administration is doing it. We need to be faithful to ourselves. They themselves are the ones who are entitled to stealing and abusing others. But when it is done by others, it becomes wrong. We are not saying what is happening now is correct, but people have to be genuine in their intentions. There is absolutely nothing that is happening now that didn't happen when President Mugabe was in power. Sorry. It's only that people have very short memories. It's the system that is rotten, not necessarily individuals. Mnangagwa and his people, they simply inherited a system that was there. It is upon us, as the people of Zimbabwe, to ensure that the system is changed, not necessarily individuals. To me, President Mnangagwa and his Vice President Chiwenga, they are just two sides of the same coin. If a coin had three sides, President Mugabe, Mnangagwa, and Chiwenga, they are all three sides of the what? Of the same coin. Removing Mugabe and putting Mnangagwa, removing Mnangagwa and putting Chiwenga, we will not change anything. That is our view. We need to ensure that the system is changed. It starts to respect the people, not necessarily to benefit a few individuals who are in power. Let's all agree that in Zimbabwe, no one is prepared to take into the streets for many reasons. Personally, I am not prepared to die or suffer for someone else to be in power. Someone that I don't even know what they are thinking. It's a no for me. I am not prepared to die for people who don't even want to understand what our fight is all about. If you go to the Zim dance or cup clash, Kwana Godfather Temple one, people they pay a lot of money to get in. The suffering youths will fill that stadium. But if you talk about politics to them or economic emancipation, you won't even fill a classroom block with those youths. Because they don't care about politics. All they care about is sex, pornography, and drugs. So we cannot die for such people who are always hooked up on drugs, people who always think of sex, pornography, and they focus on directionless celebrities who praise and hype thieves, calling them bingers. If Wicknell comes here and stands here, it will be surprising. But when we say, let's talk about economic emancipation and the politics and the economy, very few people will be available. While we are busy fighting for them, they will be celebrating seasoned criminals who sell them drugs and those responsible for their suffering. Pampara, Papana, we are not Dama. I'm taking some drugs. Right now, he is a councillor. The people voted for him to be a councillor, but he sells drugs to their youths. So Zimbabweans, dying for them, for me, it's a no. Let those leaders kill each other if they want power, because they have the capacity to do so. It is not our duty to do that. To those who feel that I have betrayed, who abandoned the struggle to fight and shout at the government, I am sorry, but I can't continue fighting a battle that I'm pretty sure know that I'm not going to win. That is stupidity of the highest level. I have to humble myself and surrender sometimes, because if truth is to be told, there is no struggle being fought. I have since established that we have some people who pretend to be fighting for a better country, but behind the scenes, they are worse than those people that we accuse of selling out. Only time will tell and expose them. There are some people that we actually think they represent a struggle, but time will tell. And they are managing you. We have that information, but unfortunately we cannot say it out. It is none of our business. I'm just trying to explain why we are saying, me and my colleagues, we cannot continue to shout at the government when we wake up, to shout at the government in the afternoon, shout at the government, no, we cannot continue to do that. We tried working with the opposition, but we actually realized that the opposition is heavily infiltrated, and the leaders are actually more ZANU PF than most ZANU PF card-carrying members. I came up to the conclusion that, of course, we know President Mnangagwa is not going anywhere in the near future, unless if God decides otherwise. But should we keep opposing for the sake of it, even if we see clearly that we are not going to achieve anything? We just have to humble ourselves and try at least to work with, together with the government. Kana zvazoramba tozitangira ipapo atinonoke kudzokera kuma default settings. Ezvino zvichimbotaura kuti ngatimboedzei kushanda tese negovernment. Government ibatsire mayouth ari kutambudzika, itibatsirire vabereki vari kushupika, iite kuti tiimplement my empowerment programs edu in peace. What we are saying is we want to do our programs in peace. We are not coming here to confront the government. But your government yacho ngaichirega kuti confront. Because kunyarara kwedu sometimes kunenge kusiri kupusa, but it's out of respect. Nekuziva kuti izvi zvakanaka, izvi zvinouraya nyika, izvi zvinotibatsira. Saka kunyarara kwatete takazoita vachitiprovoka, vachiita zvavanoita hakusi kupusa. Kungoti tiri vanhu vanonzwisisa, we are educated people. So we want to work with the government for the betterment of our people and the economy. At the end of the day, we are all Zimbabweans and we all should participate in meaningful economic activities. Against that background, it comes my personal and my colleagues' decision to leave directionless politics and focus on empowering our people. I know we can change people's fortunes and the country's direction in non-confrontational and bloodless ways. Can we empower the people if we are always fighting and shouting at the government? No. We need the intervention of the government in collaboration with the people so that we can have decent employment opportunities. We can only empower our people if we work hand in glove with the government. This is a proposal that we are giving to the government. To say, guys, we are hungry. The people are suffering out there. Atisuda kuuya tichikukonfrontai. Tikuda kuuya kwamuri tichitaura kuti apa batsirai vanhu, apa tibatsirei, apa itai zvakati. That is our approach for now. To say that this is how we think we can work together and change the fortunes of our people. But don't test our patience. Nekuda kutitira zvimwe zvinhu zvisina musoro zvokuti disturb and all. We want to work with the authorities on empowerment and decent employment creation for the suffering masses. We have our models that we can implement on our own, but we also have models that need the intervention of those in power. Can we all do that without finding common ground? No, we need to find common ground. So, for now, I'm saying kuti takambokwesherana hedu kumashure uko nana President Mnangagwa ne ZANU PF and all. But for now, for now, the immediate future. How do you respond? I am saying my apology to Mr. President Mnangagwa. We are sorry for whatever we did in the past. We challenged you. We said a lot of things. But for the sake of the people that I am representing and the suffering people of Zimbabwe, I am coming here to say my apologies to you. My apologies to the Vice President Chiwenga and Kungoto Amuati but Mnangagwa na Chiwenga. For now, I am sorry for that. Confusion. But tinogona kungozviita futi mukaramba muchiita se muchitivhiringa tinokwanisa kutozviita, we have that capacity, but for now ngatimboshandai pamwe chete ipapo ngapanyatsonzwisisika kuti tikuti for now. I'm sorry for putting the name of the Revolutionary Party into disrepute the ZANU PF. We embarrassed you. This is for the people of Zimbabwe, not for myself. If you cannot forgive me as an individual, it's fine, but if you really love the people that we represent and those that we want to empower, it's only fair that we work together. You have failed in a lot of aspects, and definitely you need new and independent ideas for the people to have food on their tables. Myself, I had a fair share of problems and misfortunes as a result of my actions, but I have no hard feelings and I hold no grudges at all to anyone. I am fully aware that once you enter the field of politics, you need serious shock absorbers, because definitely you will be shocked. You cannot blame a crocodile for biting your hand when you jump into a crocodile-infested reef. Whatever that happened to me, it happened. I picked up my pieces and I realized that I had crossed the Rubicon and I had to face the consequences. Of course, some people will say, he is now supporting the regime. Either he is angry or he has been bought or paid, because there is no way he would have do that, considering what he went through. Only Imbes, I was in politics can say that, because those who have political experience understand that the political arena is like a pigsty. You may enter in wearing a white suit, but you can't blame the pigs for throwing dirt at you. I knew the consequences of my actions, so I cannot blame anyone for whatever I came across in my journey. Plus, what do I gain by waking up and spending the day shouting at the government, day in, day out? We did that for many years, but we didn't achieve anything. I have a trail of men and women who actually look up to me for opportunities. Vanenge vakatotarisira kuti mukomana uyu ane zvaachatotitira kuti upenyu hwedu hwese hushanduke. Variko vakawanda vatakashanda navo in politics, vamwe the general citizens vasine politics. Vanenge vakatotarisira kuti ko toita sei kuti tiwane mabasa. Ina handina chandiri kuita, makuseni ndomuka ndobva ndatuka Mnangagwa. Masikati ndomutuka, manderi ndomutuka. Saka now tikuti no, for now toda kumbomira izvozvo. Timboedza kushanda pamwe chete. Kana zvazoramba kufoni inobhonetsa here, kungopresa button reka reset to factory default. Takutodzokera kunoita zvatinenge tajaira. So I can't continue to be busy climbing on top of the mountains to show people that I have the loudest voice to insult our leaders. That's not a sign of leadership. Good leaders forgive for the sake of ordinary people. To my fellow Shumba Mnangagwa, toera mtupo mweshete, atori mkoma ipo. Our ZANU PF members, opposition activists, and the general public. This is my plea, that may we please forgive each other and move on for the greater good of our beloved country. Some of us, we are willing to immensely contribute to decent employment creation for our people, which is what I believe. If President Mnangagwa is serious about the plight of our people, about the plight of the suffering Zimbabweans, he must help by removing barriers and provide support that, so that people can prosper and succeed in their individual economic endeavors. May the authorities give us a chance to see what models we can implement so that we reduce the unemployment backlog in our country. To our government, instead of suppressing dissent by force, why don't you keep the people busy looking for money? Panokuswera muchirova vanhu muchivhiringidza vanhu, vaiteka maopportunities ekuti vawane mari, muone kuti vanoswera vachikunetsa here. Let's achieve that by having a genuine engagement with our leaders. So we have actually recently witnessed the passing of the PVO bill. That's a very sad moment for our country, for Zimbabwe. We are moving backwards. We have actually moved maybe 5-10 years back from 1980. The ZANU PF government problem, their interest is consolidating power and winning elections. Vanhu chaivo povu kuti vane shungu nepovu chaivo hapana. Ma-NGO, ukaenda kumamisha uko, those are the organizations that have been responsible for feeding our people. Those are the organizations that have been responsible for creating decent employment opportunities for the people there, mostly in the rural areas. But now people are gathered there in parliament approving laws that have a detrimental effect on our people. People are going to suffer. If only our ZANU PF government had realized that, no, these NGOs, we need to work with them. Ipawa ripo kuna vanobviswa nema-NGO. Ma-NGOs, they have been here since 1980. Pakauya vese vana Morgan Tsvangirai, NGOs were there. Pakauya vana Chamisa, NGOs were there. Saka nhasi vazoipei zvokuti vangabva vabvisa ZANU PF government. Sometimes we just need to reason and see that, no, this is for our people. Let these people work for the good of the country and our people. However, there is nothing that we can do because that law has been passed. And we have opposition MPs in parliament who were there when those laws were being passed. We cannot fight because it's now an act. People are moving backwards, enacting draconian laws that suppress the civic space and thwarting all prospects of survival for the ordinary suffering peasants, mostly in our rural areas. However, As we announce our empowerment movement, we have the following objectives in summary. Some of them, they are on our website, but this is just a summary of what we want to do. We want to be on the ground with regards to empowerment matters and advise the leadership so that they can take action. We are going to be on a massive anti-corruption and whistleblowing drive. We want to work with the relevant government departments for our respective programs. We want a collective development of models that attract investment. We are going to be promoting value addition. We want to provide sustainable solutions for economic recovery and poverty alleviation. We want parallel industrialization of mining communities. We want the mining communities to have industries that can sustain them even after the life of the mine. We want to implement apolitical and auditable small-scale miners and farmer support programs. We want to foster unity among Zimbabweans and move towards one direction as a country. We want to collectively create a democratic and peaceful environment, especially for elections. We want to foster a culture of tolerance, constructive debates, and respect for diverse opinions. We want to lay a foundation for inclusiveness in our toxic political environment. We shall be announcing our programs on our website, our social media platforms, as well as press statements. As we move towards launching our movement, because this is just an announcement, once we start our programs, we are going to have a launch. And we want those struggling small to medium businesses who do commodity broking mainly to get ready, because that's the first program that we are going to do. We also want vendors, small-scale miners, and to be ready. We want those who need short-term loans at affordable interest rates. They also must be ready and on the lookout for our announcement. Those who want to start small gas businesses in their neighborhoods but don't have the capacity must also be ready and identify where they can set up so that when we announce that we are moving, there will be a step ahead. Once we have finished our 1 or 2 programs for the above-mentioned beneficiaries, we are going to launch the movement and everything will start to be announced as we go. Let me reiterate that as we work towards empowerment people, we are unashamed and unapologetic to work with anyone who has the same intentions as us. We work with the government, its institution, and if President Mnangagwa wants to be on board, we are available. But obviously, we will not be part of the 2030 agenda because that is absolute nonsense. We cannot tolerate that kind of bending our constitution for selfishness or to please some people who are benefiting from corrupt government tenders. If a new president comes in, we will continue to work with them in the same way as we are doing it for the people of Zimbabwe, not for political benefits. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for coming, and you may now ask questions. I may not be available to take any interviews outside of this press conference for some security reasons. So you are free to ask any questions. Yes,
okay, thank you. Earlier on you said that our political culture is not about individuals but the political system. It's about the system.
yes.
But then how do you reconcile with your later statement where you say we need new ideas and new people? Now, how can you reconcile that new ideas and new people on a dysfunctional political system? And also where you say you work with those people who are also presiding over that dysfunctional system. So will you be focusing on individuals or focusing on the system?
We are focusing on the system. Thank you for your question. We are focusing on the system. This system, the same people who have been at the helm are the same war veterans that I talked about. The people who are running the country right now are mostly the people who say that we fought for this country. So they created a system together with President Mugabe. They superintended over that system. They took over that oppressive and a non-people oriented system, and they are still using it. So bringing in new ideas, as the young people getting in there, taking over positions of power, we will manage to change that system. Because right now, of course, individuals are coming inheriting the same system, but they are the same people who say that we fought for this country. That is what we are against. They didn't fight for themselves, but they fought for the liberation of everyone in Zimbabwe. So we are going to fight the system, not individuals. We will definitely change that system. Yes, sir.
Mr. Msengezi, a few years ago, you went to court challenging the ascendance of President Mnangagwa to power. Why this sudden shift now, given that your position was that he was not the legitimate leader of ZANU PF?
Even now, I didn't say President Mnangagwa is a legitimate leader of ZANU PF. But I said, yes, we have our differences. I may not recognize him as a legitimate leader of ZANU PF because we have a matter that is still pending at the courts. I didn't pursue it for some security reasons because I was being attacked left, right, and center. Personally, I was being attacked. Physically, I was being attacked. They launched a legal warfare against me. They attacked my business. So, at some point, I thought to myself, let me take a step back and not pursue this matter because it's bringing more trouble to me. That is why I set it aside. But that doesn't mean I recognize President Mnangagwa as a legitimate leader. Now I am saying we have people who are suffering and they are on the ground. And some of them, they look up to me to say, can you create decent employment opportunities for us? If I try to create opportunities for them right now, the same government, they will come to fight me. That is why I'm saying for now, let us cease fire and concentrate on empowering our people. These fights, they are petty. I can't do anything right now. If I tried to, last week, those fools didn't even know what I wanted to say, but they came here fighting. And they disrupted everything. So if I try to go into communities right now to say we are going to do ABCD programs to empower our people, the same people, they will come to fight me. So I'm saying let's cease fire for now and work towards the economic emancipation of our people. I'm not saying President Mnangagwa is legitimate. If I had said that, I'm sorry, it was a mistake. I didn't. Yes, ma'am.
In your statement, Mr. Msengezi, you spoke about setting up a whistleblower kind of like platform where you said you're open to people who come and whistleblow. Do you have confidence in that, considering that it's still the system that you've been speaking about? You are difficult to say it's compromised.
The system is very compromised, and we don't have confidence in ZAC at all. ZAC just last a few years, I'm not sure with the dates, but the articles, they are there. They blew millions of United States dollars, and they've got no single meaningful conviction. So we don't have confidence in ZAC. We don't have confidence in the system. I can give you a few examples. Just in the COVID era, we have multi-million US dollars that were stolen and that were embezzled by people who are close to the first family. We have those people like Wana Delishingwai. They benefited from charging exorbitant prices on COVID materials. Nothing happened to them. The only thing that I remember that happened there is the dismissal of the then Minister of Health. And nothing else. There is no conviction. We have a lot of corruption that have been going on since 2017, and there is no conviction. There is no meaningful conviction. The only conviction that I remember was Dana Oscar Pambuka, the Tumari Snabas. I think they were sentenced for about $12,000 US. I'm not saying what they did is right, but Tumari Twaja Namsur Twavaka convicted. Then we have another guy, Gantiwa, I think, who was the PEMSEC for Ministry of Mines. Those are small monies. We have real thieves who are stealing. We have a person like Kudakwashe Tagwire. He refused to go and answer to the parliamentary portfolio on that was being headed by Tendai BT at the time. He refused to go and participate. Why? Because he has all the power. He is close to the powers that be. We have people like Wikno Shivai. He has got a tender that he is failing to buy solar panels for the Gwanda project, but he is busy buying cars when we don't have electricity. We have a lot of people who have been stealing, but nothing is happening. So we don't have confidence in the system. The system needs to be changed, but that cannot stop us from whistleblowing about corruption. It has to be put on a record, so that if there is a change of government, those people must be arrested and account.
Do you have a working relationship with any opposition political establishment? And what exactly do you disagree with Comrade Geza? What exactly do you, maybe from his approach?
I can't really say we have a decent relationship with the opposition political parties. Most opposition political parties in Zimbabwe, they pretend to be opposition political parties, but they are not opposition political parties. We have opposition political leaders who received money from ZANU PF to manage the people. And they are successfully doing that. So we tried to work with a number of opposition political parties thinking that we will be able to change the system. But you will not change that system working with the available opposition political parties. If we come to the Comrade Geza's issue, if you listened to his first interview, one of his first interviews with Blessed Mnangagwa, he clearly stated his grievance. He expected to be appointed a Politburo member and be given bodyguards and a convoy of cars. There is an interview online right now by Blessed Mnangagwa na your Comrade Geza. Then he realized people are not buying my grievances. He started to provoke people's emotions. People are suffering. But Comrade Geza in 2018, he was an MP for Sanyat, if I'm not mistaken. And people were murdered by our government. It's on the record. The Motlane Commission tried, but nothing came out. He was there, he didn't speak out. Why? Because angari patebo achitase achidya. But when his grievances were not addressed, akabati kuti ndiwane support yepovu, what should I do? Let me provoke their emotions. They are suffering. He starts to talk about the people suffering. He starts to talk about the raping of the constitution, the 2030 agenda, people trying to elbow out Comrade Chiwenga and all. Yes, some of the grievances there, they resonate with the suffering people, but they are not driven by genuine concern. They are driven by a selfish and factional ZANU PF agenda. Like I said, we cannot fight for Comrade Chiwenga. We can't fight for Comrade Mnangagwa. Let those people fight and kill each other. Stress. I can't die for Chiwenga, I can't die for Mnangagwa. Chiwenga ana masoja yake ngaenda anofurana na Mnangagwa anenge awina tinongoya toti Mr President isu tine maprogram edu vana vane nzara ngatitese ngatishande pamwe chete. That is what I'm saying. Siya bayane vega ipo pai kana Chiwenga akurirwa ndikoko Mnangagwa akangwara. Mnangagwa akabviswa ototi Chiwenga wakaita wakachenjera ngoma ndiyo takatoenda takadaro toonana kuma election umberi. Yes.
I heard you, like you were provoking the youth. You said, my youth were with Victoria. We cannot stand to die for such kind of people. So do you think, after hearing this, the youth will take you serious and label you a leader who can lead them?
How am I going to lead them if I die right now? Those guys, they can kill. We all know it. They can arrest me for film teachers. Last week, ndakasungwa nzaro wamunhu. Hanzi mavhedha akabva vachimhanyisana. Vakakwidza vachimhanyisira na airtime. Vakakwidza 2 floors. Vakarasikira muno. Ndobva ndamubata ndobva ndamurova. I was arrested for assaulting that person. I never landed my hand on them. What I only did was removing a mask. I was arrested and spent a night at Harare Central Police Station, only to come out to Harare Magistrates Court on $100 bail. I was supposed to pay $20 fine, but I was arrested. I am out on bail. I am supposed to report twice per month at the nearest police station. What I am saying is, I cannot get into a physical battle with the government because they will kill me. You know it. They will arrest me instead of getting myself killed. I am coming here and approaching the same oppressive government to say, we know what Varume Memuri Mbava, we know what Varume Memuri Mondi, we know what Varume Memuri Uluta Munoba and Amunatsine Van, Asitine Agoka Poshen Kedikavan or Tambura, Itai Ishu Kutumabasi. These youths, Vanofana Kupa Pama drugs. Kutiva Pama drugs, let's create decent employment opportunities for them. So if they can't take me seriously for creating decent employment opportunities for them, I can't do that. And the one is, I'm not going to pin today.
The authorities are just hearing what you are saying, that they are killers, they are corrupt. Do you think if you go to them after this press conference and tell them that, come, let us work together, will they take you seriously? Because you will be just going to bow yourself in front of the killers, in front of the corrupt people. Will you think they will take you seriously?
It's not a matter of taking me seriously. It's a matter of taking the people's concerns seriously. I am coming to them to say, A, B, C, D. Imimi nehumondi wenyu nehumbava wenyu vanhu vanotanga kutoona kuti idzi mhondi idzi imbavha izvi asi nhasi wotarara taita se tadya kana muchazoda kuvakonfranta munongonofomawo wakaposheni kenyu mukonfranta isusu tinokondinya tichitaura kuti varume tinozviziva kuti muri zvigananda muri mbavha asi vanhu vane nzara. I guess this is not my questions. So thank you very much for coming. I hope I have clarified. And we are looking forward. Like I said, tinongodzokera kuma factory settings. Kutuka tinotogona stereki patiri baba. Asi hatisi kuda kuzviita because toda kuti vanhu vamboita se vambodyawo vachibvuta. Tinotokwanisa the launch, I'm sure next month we should launch. Because we have programs already that are lined up. But we wanted first to do an announcement. After the announcement, then we can move on to the launch. And we will definitely keep you posted on our social media platforms. We have a website. I'm sure we'll also be posting on our website. So with that, I guess the press conference is over. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming.